Folks, we are live. I'm gonna have a two more do sip for you all.
Hey guys, how are you?
There we go. That was actually, I should adjust my mic not to have the back open, because if I have the back microphone going, you're gonna hear the kids playing in the yard behind me. There we go. That's better.
Nice.
That's more professional. Don't even think of professional and the Tenkar's cast.
No, we're not professional. We're barely sober. We're no less
not
professional.
Well, we're really trying hard too, folks. This is Iron Rations with Joe the Lawyer and myself, Eric Tenkar. We are here to cause trouble for your gaming. Well, not really, but maybe sort of. We'll cause as much trouble as our live audience recommends,
and we'll tolerate.
Yeah, well, that too. So. Something I wanted to touch on, because I wanted to get Joe's opinion on this, because we're both all right. I'm actually going to qualify this before I go forward with this. I am a huge fan of the older Lamentations of the Flame Princess releases. Yeah. The first two box sets, amazing. The original adventures that James published, really great. Some of the later stuff all looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The presentation is second to none, but some of it was more shock jockery than usability.
Yeah, later stuff. He just wanted the horrifier shock. It was like the Howard Stern of D&D, basically, you know. But early on, he was putting out shit that actually made sense, that was usable at your table. He had this. Didn't he? He had this random creature, esoteric, whatever the hell generator thing.
And the original one was published by Goodman Games. He published Goodman. That
pretty
I think
good.
Might be James's first published work.
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
It is spot on. If you want unique creatures that aren't going to be run of the mill, people aren't going to look at it and go, "Oh, I recognize that. That's that Ramarhaz shit."
Yeah.
This is going to blow your mind. It is great stuff.
Yeah. Again, and he had some early stuff that was decent and usable at the table, as opposed to the later stuff, which was just like, you know, a woman dragging around an aborted baby by the umbilical cord, and the baby was alive and dragging the woman or something. I mean, I remember right, you know, that kind of shit. You know,
was that when It Bleeds or something
like that? I play tested it once. I don't know if I ever got credit for the thing, and I'm glad. I don't know if I did or didn't, but I play tested one of Raji's things way back at like those 2 a.m. play test sessions, and I remember there was like had to do with a clock. And I think it was like an aborted baby was dragging around this dead mother by the umbilical cord or some shit. I'm like, God, dude, what the fuck? Let me out of here. You know, it's just like, let me the fuck out of here.
It's like I don't want to play in a game that needs X cards, but yes, this needs an X card, please. No,
it was not fun.
There was a limit, but that being said, James has a great record of putting out stuff. Had a rough year, or rough 2 years between the Zach Smith fiasco, which that implosion, by the way, folks, is still going on. Zach sued Mike Merles. We didn't know about that lawsuit until the lawsuit against Gen Con got dismissed, because in the paperwork requesting a dismissal, it included the reference to, and the suit against Mike Merles was dismissed in November for the following reasons. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was reading that at 2 a.m. like, whoa.
I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But and in all honesty, Zach was the big moneymaker for Lamentations and therefore for James Raggi. 2020 was the year of COVID. And that also meant that, well, as we all know, no conventions, right? In-person conventions were verboten. Yeah. You weren't going to any of them. And that's where James does a bulk of his sales is in-person conventions in Europe, I guess Gen Con.
He does. He traveled a lot. He was always showing pictures from various conventions he was going to.
Yeah. Well, he was suffering. So then last year, he was talking about how he had 6 figures. It's over $100,000 in government loans coming due.
Yep.
And he had this great sale. And I will say, did I participate in buying stuff from this huge sale he had? Yes. Did I buy directly from James, where he promised free shipping anywhere in the world? Yes. Because from James, you got the, the whatever you put your books into when they come in a set of like 3, that little bookshelf.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that. I bought the U.S. because he has a Europe store and a U.S. store, and I bought from the U.S. store. And it was, like I said back then, a year ago, it was like blackmail almost because I backed his fucking Kickstarter, I don't know, 48 years ago for his.
The Indiegogo for the
so that or Indiegogo, I backed that. I never got it. So it was sort of like if I want this guy to hang around as a business long enough to fucking produce the thing I backed 1,000 years ago, I better buy some shit now. It felt like I was dealing with the mop. Like the mafia, you know what I mean? Raji Corleone or something here.
If you want a pizza tomorrow, you better buy the sauce, the cheese, and the flour today. Yeah, because I could break your legs. No, I know exactly. Yeah. So, and listen, and James raised the money, but here's the thing, and this is just an observation. If you need to raise $100,000 plus to pay off government debt or any loan, whether it's a loan shark or the Finnish government, you got to pay them off.
Which is worse than a mob, probably the government. You can't get rid of them.
Right. You can't do the dip. So you pay that off. That wasn't profit. That isn't money that's going toward further projects. That's money to keep yourself from being foreclosed, to having your shop done. All right. Yes, it was kind of like being held at gunpoint. If you want your ref book, you will buy this. All right, I will say that. So then we went on from that. James survived that. And then we had a video earlier this year. It's up on YouTube. I'm not going to link it. I'm sure you can find it if you do a little searching. Yeah. Where James did the scary. And when I say the scary, James did the solo walk in the snow.
In the snow, yeah. Yeah, I was worried about the dude. I feel bad. That's why I don't want to talk shit about him because I'm like, man, that guy's depressed and look like, at least. I can't make a diagnosis. I'm not a doctor. No. Motherfucker. I can tell when the dude's having a bad day.
Right, or a bad year. And really.
Oh, yeah.
But what it came down to is James was like, well, he had to change his business model because before he was paying people, I guess, pretty much up front.
Yeah.
And now he wanted people... Right, now he wanted people to work for, I guess, a percentage of the profits, which is fine if you are, I don't know, Eric Tenkar, who is going to be putting out the second printing of Swords of Wizardry Continual Light. And
Congratulations, by the way. Good job.
Thank you. I am paying some money up front for certain creators, but people like my layout guy, Jeff Jones, is going to probably get about half the profits of all the sales because he's done so much great work for me on Torchlight. And if you take any fucking money, I want to make sure Jeff is taken care of.
Yeah, I'm backing his Kickstarter for the what was that thing? What do you call the Zine Quest? I'm backing his Zine Quest thing. Good shit.
Oh, Jeff is solid. I've assembled a great team. Now in the past, Raggy has assembled great and amazing teams, but he basically came out and said, I can't afford the teams that I've assembled before, so I need a new group of creators. Right now, I'm going to be honest with you. I know a number of artists, and when I reached out and said, in this case, James Shields said, James, I would love you to do a cover for Swords of Wizardry Continual Light, the second print, the digest edition, and I really want you to do what you want to do. I don't want to give you direction. I go, and you name your price. Okay, I didn't say James, and I'll give you a percentage of the sales of this book. That's gonna. By the way, folks, Swords of Wizardry Continual Light is not going to put money in my pocket. If it pays me back my investment, I am more than happy. All right, I really look at my funds that come from affiliate sales and sales of products as either funding the hobby or going back to the community or doing
giving away money. Right, you hit 500 members, and we're
500 members. I give away $500 in drive-through gift certificate.
And we're 42 away. So if you're listening and haven't subscribed, goddamn, subscribe. 42 members. That means you, Dwayne. I know you're out there. Willis 101, motherfucker. Subscribe to the channel. I better see that thing go up while you're here, man.
When I say goddamn it, I don't mean goddamn it, Zach. I don't mean turn over to that fucking channel. They're not bad guys, but I'm saying this is what the monies go to. They go to paying James Bond to write a micro setting, and eventually it's going to be like a little Me Too-ish type of deal. But that's I'm not doing this to make money. James is living off this. James is
that's his living, that's his job.
Right. Yes,
stranger in a strange land. He's out there.
Thank you.
I already fucking did it good. Yeah.
and you know, Willis, I'm going to have the sip of Tullamore Dew, with aged with cinnamon sticks. So it's like a fireball without the guilt.
Nice. Willis is Dwayne, by the way. If you see Willis in the chat, Dwayne is a player from my brother's EverQuest guild from 1,000 years ago, and they recently joined my Saturday night games. So that it was her first. Let's see if he likes it, and let's see if we like him. It panned out okay.
You always got to go through that.
So I realized that he doesn't know anything about my blog, my Anchor podcast, my YouTube channel, or anything about my greater presence. He doesn't know anything about any of that.
Now you're being exposed, man.
Well, I just exposed myself because I realized I haven't talked shit about him specifically, whereas I've talked shit about everybody else I played with, probably. So.
see, it's an advantage to getting into the group late. You know, it's like, oh, thank God we have a chance, and now there's no chance.
I haven't talked enough. If I can't talk shit about it, so it's protection.
No,
but I'll talk.
Yeah. So going back to the Raggy stuff. So then, what is James this past week posts on Facebook? Does anybody know something to the effect that does anybody know what the Finnish rules are for unpaid interns? Because I could really use the help. Again, one of those what the fuck moments when it comes to Raggy. First, you're saying that you're not going to pay people up front for their work, which you were before, and you want new people because obviously you're going to pay new people less, and now you want free interns. That's not a way to build a business. That's not a way to I don't know, set yourself up for success. Oh, I had a feeling we lost Joe. Joe is never silent for that long. So let's see if the Joe Arini will get back. In the meantime, I'll take a small sip of Tullamore Dew. So again, if your business is set up on paying people for work after the fact, and then not paying people for work during the fact. Welcome back, Joe.
Hey, sorry about that. I don't know what the hell just happened.
No, I had a feeling when I was like, well, Joe was being really silent, not interjecting when I thought he would. It's like, I left this ball out there, and Joe didn't even swing. It wasn't even a swing and a miss.
I was talking shit about Dwayne. I know Dwayne works with computers, so I figured Dwayne hacked my computer and fucked me. So I don't know what's going on. You know,
denied. But the whole thing with Raggy wanting unpaid interns. And somebody had to tell him in Finland, your only unpaid interns that you can have are ones that are working through a school, right? And you have to be a nonprofit. You can't be a for-profit. Now, I don't know if James wants to change the business sense for Lamentations of Flame Princess to be a nonprofit, yet pay him a living wage. I don't know how that would work, but it doesn't look like James is going to be able to get free. And I don't know what the free labor would do aside from mailing stuff. I guess proofreading.
I think what he needs is somebody to push him and help get his shit together. Honestly, just I don't know, some backbones of support and organization and an inspiration that would probably help him more than anything else. I hope he does. I hope he pulls it off too. Because not just because I want my fucking ref book from 7 or 8 years ago,
but that's part. I'll be honest, I want it too, man. And folks, listen. If you can get the original ref book for the Lamentations of the Flame Princess game, the original ref book is one of my go-to resource materials for any OSR game I've run, or probably if I was dare I say this, holy shit, even probably useful in 5e. It is really a lot of great ideas on how to keep things fresh. And that's why I backed his idea of a new printing, a new edition. Pretty much like on faith. And I hate to say it, I'm currently losing faith, and that I have to say it.
I just hope he gets his shit together. Honestly, you know, there's one thing James never did is I talked to him one time about running the games and how come, like, you know, one drawback that I had a house because I ran a long campaign using LTFP once, a couple of years, maybe a year and a half or so, and it was the characters got up to decent level, but the everybody fell behind the fighters because the fighters are the only one who gets a bonus to attack. You can be a 7th level thief and you're still the same as a fighting ability as a 1st level thief. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you just have some level of scalability? And I had to implement that myself. And he was like, well, basically, he never in his campaigns, they never get high enough to fucking because he kills them off with aborted babies dragging the mothers behind, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, dude, it's like, well, some of us want to use this as a BX clone. Some of us just want to adopt it like that. He never quite got that. He always wanted to go for the Lovecraftian horror shit. You know what I mean? And then the weird shock jock horror rather than Lovecraftian horror, I guess.
I remember I was really psyched about the. I have both of the original box sets. I have the original box set, the Grindhouse edition.
And then the Grindhouse. Yeah. I'm looking at them right now.
Yep. And I was so psyched about it that I was like, all right, you know, I'm going to start writing classes for Lamentations. And I wrote a Ranger class, and God forbid, my Ranger class got a bonus to their attack bonus every other level.
Oh, yeah.
And
you had to.
And you know what? James called it shit, and this is not Lamentations. This is bullshit. Yada, yada. All right, we know what? Then fuck it. I ain't gonna. And that's a shame because I'll be honest with you. Aside from Swords and Wizardry, there hasn't been an OSR game that I've read where I was like, "Oh my god, I am so totally fucking pumped."
I agree.
And
it was a big.
I got unpumped with that. I was like, because again. You know what? It probably doesn't break down until about maybe 4th level. And at which point you start saying, oh, the fighters are hitting everything. Everybody else is not hitting anything.
Yeah.
And they're all one-trick ponies, but the fighter has the one trick that works.
He did some great shit, though. He came up with some really good ideas. I remember it was like remember IRQ or IRC? Where the fuck that? It was this weird chat thing back in the days.
ICQ?
ICQ.
The one that was like a better America Online instant.
And it was.
What happened is America Online wound up buying out ICQ when they realized it. Then it turned into shit, and then they killed it.
I remember one night it was like 2 a.m. and something like that, and I'm up. And he knows I'm up because you can see who's online, who's awake, or whatever the hell there, you know. And he texts me, he goes, "Dude, I come up with a great skill system." I'm like, what? And he goes, D6. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, D6 on all skills. You know, everybody gets a 1, and then you progress and add it in, and these little, specialists or whatever get more and this and that. I'm like, dude. And here's the one thing I told him: use a D12 because you get more. No, first of all, the D12 is the most underused fucking die in all of D&D, right? Right. So you should use a D12 just because the fucking dice is neglected, for God's sakes. And then number 2, you get more gradients of ability within a D12. But he didn't. He went through the D6. But I remember he had such good ideas. And then it all went to shit. But I just like, I wonder if he's ever going to make a setting because I don't think his campaigns last long enough to actually need a setting. You know?
Well, wasn't his setting kind of the faux Renaissance setting he was working on?
It was an era at least, but it wasn't a developed setting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, all right. Well, and here's the thing too. Again, with my Ranger class, I had skills being used by the Ranger.
Yeah.
Using that D6, and you can no, that's only a thief. You can't. I was like, dude, listen. The reason why certain systems thrive is because people can embellish them and play with them, and I'm not saying it makes the system better, but it adds some additional life to it.
Yeah.
So, and again, not for nothing. How long have we waited now since the Grindhouse edition for any real Lamentations? He's been publishing adventures, but listen, those adventures can be played with any system, any OSR system. Hell, you could probably play it with 5e if you were, willing to hack it enough.
Yeah. So,
but the Lamentations RPG has been neglected. I don't even know if it's in print anymore, to tell you the truth.
You can buy it off Amazon. I bought a few copies. I don't even know why. A couple of years ago, of the Rules and Magic book, the book 1.
Right.
The hard copy. Good. It's still a good fucking book. If you want to play a campaign, I could pass them out. They're pretty cheap. But I did. Speaking of things that Kickstarters and shit, I just got. I think you posted yours, and I'm holding it up as if you can see it in my camera here. The Swords and Wizardry box set.
All right. I'll hold up mine, and I don't know if you can see it without my virtual green. Yeah, I'll put it against my head.
There you go.
And I got to angle it in.
Yeah. There it is.
There you go.
The same thing. So I got that. Now I got the Swords and Wizardry hardcover book, the complete, which is I think the only one to get is the complete. It has everything you need.
Right.
I know there's some weird old shit, white box core, whatever. Fuck that, all that shit.
Well, here's the deal. Complete is the only rule set that is supported by Frog God Games.
Yeah, the other ones I don't know what that happened to them.
The others were all right. The sword and the dice aren't even in the box right now. Yeah. Sorry. Here's how it works, as far as I can understand. Core was available. I don't even know if you can find that anymore. I think I might have been pulled, but Core was available on Lulu from Mythmer Games, and that was Matt Finch's private label
company or something. Yeah, right.
You could also find the white box rules there. The white box rules were written by Mark Berg.
Was that Bad Halfling or some shit? What was that?
No. Bad Halfling, John Adams, published the actual Swords and Wizardry white box set.
Oh,
before it was available to digest.
Yeah.
John published the white box set, and I had ordered 2. One of them did not come with the adventure that was supposed to be enclosed, and the boxes were they were beautiful boxes, but listen, the Swords and Wizardry boxes that we just got from Frog God, I'm not saying I would stand on it, but it looks like it could take a certain amount of weight.
It's not as strong as the OS Old School Essentials box, but it's a solid box.
It's a solid box. The original, the white box, Swords and Wizardry white box, if you breathe on it the wrong way, the corner's going to blow out on you.
Yeah, like the old BX box or basic box.
Yeah, so listen, I am a huge fan of Frog God Games. I'm a huge fan of Swords and Wizardry.
Yeah.
I'm going to show this up now. It's going to be hard to show because they're fucking green dice with a green screen, right?
Yeah.
All right, so these are the dice that came in my box set, and I still have at least 2 sets of the original Swords and Wizardry dice. These blue, slightly marbleized dice, where the D6, I guess the 6 had the 1 had the wizard icon on it. It was a sticker; it wasn't high quality, but they're beautiful fucking dice.
Yeah.
These dice are they're certainly usable, but these are the quality of dice that I'll go to a convention with like 8 or 9 pairs, and when I run games, at the end I'll have like, oh, who died? Yeah. All right, here you died. You get a free set of dice, and throw them a set of dice.
Yeah,
I would do that. Or they're not. Yeah, the dice are just fillers.
They're dollar store dice. I mean, honestly, to be honest, they're just dollar store dice. I was not impressed, and I was wondering if I just got the ugly green ones, but I guess green are standard. Huh?
I don't know. I personally think that blue is the color for Swords and Wizardry. I like green.
Maybe green for frogs. I don't know.
There you go. Hold on a second. Everybody, Matt Jackson has stepped into the room, which means we're gonna have shite in that table, man. We're gonna have shite.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, in case you see. So Willis 101, meet Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson is a legend in his own mind. And he plays in my Thursday games when he feels like playing. And Willis, his name is Dwayne. He plays in my Saturday games. My brother's buddy from back in the EverQuest days, and now he's in my Saturday games. So now you guys can both talk shit about how great I am, as a person.
Or just talk shit about Joe.
Yeah. But I'm looking at my Swords and Wizardry box that we're just talking about it now, and I don't want to talk shit because a lot of people put a lot of work into this. Now, my favorite Swords and Wizardry book is the complete version that came out after the infamous Stacy D version, which had the.
No, it came out before. Here's how Swords and Wizardry complete goes, and if I screw this up, Matt can come down and beat me senseless and tell me I was wrong.
Well, I'm just talking about the cover art because I don't want the flaming pink vagina art.
The first cover was the green cover with the undeadish guy sitting in a chair, big throne with a sword in his hand. That was the paperback print on demand. So I have that one. Then we had the second printing, which is the blue Errol Otis cover. And that is fucking awesome. Then we have, and if anybody gets offended, I apologize. I'm going to quote my dear wife, Rachel, where she called it the burning vagina cover.
That's what it looks like. It looks like the vagina got some kind of VD, and that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Now, and honestly, I didn't even think of that until she said it, and then when she said it, you couldn't unsee it.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah, that's where I probably got it. You and her at a bar, at that Irish bar in New York City. She's talking about it. Probably where I got that thing in my head from, an ugly, flaming diseased vagina. You know?
Yeah, it's something that you would have expected from a James Raggi book. I mean, honestly. And
full circle.
but actually, it's going to go even more full circle because my understanding is the project manager, who shall remain nameless, I will say this about them, all right? When they had some doubts about the cover,
that's right.
They went to their friend at the time, Zach Smith, and said, what do you think about this cover? And his opinion was, it's awesome, and screw what anybody else thinks about it.
Yeah.
So it was the cover. And listen, I will say this about the third edition. If you can find it, or third printing, if you can find it cheap, get it. It's not as easy to read because there's a lot of artistic clutter on the inside, which...
Artistic clutter. That was the whole point of it, wasn't it? It was like everything else is the same. The text is the same. The only difference was the art.
The borders. My problem in the artistic color is the borders around each fucking page.
Yeah.
Made my eyes claustrophobic, which is a huge accomplishment when you think about it.
Yeah.
So. But that being said, the content is going to be the same. Yeah. Nothing changed.
Nothing changed in content. It was all about the art. All about.
So if you can get it. Now, when it came out, there were a lot of people high-fiving each other and saying, "Oh, this is great. This is awesome," and they weren't buying it.
No, nobody's buying it. Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, exactly.
So that's
exactly.
That's there. I still remember people we would have it at conventions, and I have it at the table, and I had people go, "Oh, that's just an amazing cover." I go, "Do you own one?" No.
Yeah.
Would you like to buy it? No, I don't play OSR games. Well, then what do you care what the cover looks like?
Virtue signal bullshit. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
So, and I'm so. Listen, we are going full circle and back again because we went to Raggi and Zach, and now we're going to back out. So
back out to Swords and Wizardry. So I got the box in the mail, and I gotta say,
by the way, it shipped quickly. I gotta say
it did. I fucking as soon as it came within a day and a half of my. Now here's the thing. All right, now. I know what they were trying to go for here. They got the wood grain box. It's digest size, just like the original 1974 wood grain box, digest size. But here's the fucking thing. In 1974, the people who are playing D&D still had their fucking eyesight. They weren't 50-something years old. I can't fucking read the font without glasses. And I can't, like, the glossy page while making it look nice and slick. It's like if the light hits it wrong, I'm turning the book to see the fucking text because the light hits it wrong. It's all shiny. I can't see it, man. The art, it's like whatever. Nothing stands out. Like, I got something the other day, for example. I think
I don't know. Yeah, it's not going to. Actually, I think the gloss doesn't like the. Look at it. It blocked out my whole face.
That's what I'm saying.
My virtual green screen is not enjoying this.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the thing and I'm like, the art doesn't inspire. Like, I was just looking. Tim has posted something. Tim Short, Scott Manor posted something about.
Sorry. I'm falling behind. Hold on a second. Let me get back to well, Matt didn't say shit worthwhile. Hold on a second.
He never really does. I mean,
here.
Yeah. Couldn't get a better recommendation than that.
All right. I don't see anything from Tim yet.
Tim's not here, but Tim posted in his Twitter about a thing called the Tomb of Immolation that he backed as a Kickstarter, which I wish he had mentioned to me because the art in this thing is fucking phenomenal. It blows your mind. It's awesome. Eric, can I share a screen?
All right.
Is that possible? Can I do that? Let me see. Let me hit share, and let me show share screen.
It might pop up in the bottom. I might be able to put it up if
does
it allow you to do it?
Let me try.
If not,
right, there. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to show you this fucking thing. Can you see that?
I can edit the screen. So hold on a second.
All right, look at that fucking thing. This is the art of Tomb of Immolation. I went and bought it off of after his recommendation. Right, this is stunning.
Yes, I had to back that.
This is amazing. Look at this thing. Look at this mummy. Right, look at this hot chick. I mean, this is just amazing. This just brings you, and this is all the author of the book, Mark Harmon, I think his name is. Fucking stunning, right? Great art. Like, look at this stuff, right? I'm paging through it here. Great map. I don't want to give it away, so I'm just going to skip. I don't want to break, I don't know, whatever fucking copyright shit. So I'll just show you some of the, look at this, right? And there's a couple more pictures. Now, I read through it with some criticism, obviously. But I mean, let me just whip through this thing real fast and find some of the other stuff.
I should really just have Joe write some reviews.
Look at this, blog. Beautiful,
because
stunning. This is evocative of something, right?
Yes.
And I only bring this up because look at this. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This Nargalex Ice Devil. That's fucking awesome looking, right? Beautiful thing. And so there was another. Oh, look at this. The Ash Zombie. Look at that. I mean, I've had an Ash Zombie in my campaign. This would add a whole different dimension to it, right? I mean, this is just beautiful, beautiful fucking art. Now, I bring this up only for the. Here it is. Here's the key. Right. This is the best. This is the best.
Matt's busting on you, by the way. He says, filters over photos.
Look at this, though, Matt. Look at that, Matt. Tell me you don't get a half a chubby and want to run from it at the same time. Look at that fucking thing. Close your browsers before you screen share. That's amazing. Now, I bring this up only for the purpose of, I'm going to stop sharing now, for the purpose of contrast and comparison, because I'm looking at the Swords and Wizardry,
right?
And it's like, meh.
But here's the deal. If you look at the adventures that are published by Frog Eye Games or Necromancer Games, you'll have artwork that is fucking evocative and spot on. You got more generic artwork in this because you're dealing with a more generic release. That's my take on it. Okay, you don't want to necessarily have something where people go, "Oh, my only vision of an elf is boof," because this is what I was shown.
Well, they nailed the succubus. They did nail the succubus. I'll give you that. It's evocative of back in the day. Not no naked tits, but they got that okay.
Well, there's a page in my Monster Manual that was like dog ear kind of
stuck together.
And my book would open up to that, like it's like, oh geez, well there you go. It's like your DMG always open up to the attack rolls. That one always opened up to the succubus.
I mean, I love Swords and Wizardry, right? I love the game. I have a good place in my heart, and Matt Fidge is a super cool motherfucker, and he's just a cool dude, and I want to, support it. It's a good game system, but my advice is bigger font, even if it has to make the pages longer. The binding, I hope it lasts. The gloss doesn't do it for me because of the glare, and a little bit better, more evocative art. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's Swords and Wizardry, which is a great fucking system. It's OD&D plus the supplements. Great system.
Yeah.
Great system.
And listen, great thing about Swords and Wizardry is you really can't break it. I'm the proof of that. I took Swords and Wizardry and I broke it down to 4 pages and 3 levels, and it fucking worked. And how does that work? I have no idea. And I rebuilt it to 7 levels and like 16 pages. And I think in digest size, we're going to probably come in around 40 pages.
All
because,
right.
Well, again, James is going to give me at least 3,000 words. So
all right.
Like,
well, make a bigger font, dude. Remember, we're all old. Everybody's reading this shit.
No, dude. Hey, listen. Here's what I'm going to say. If my proof in the pudding is, if Rach can look at it up to her face and read it, as opposed to going, I can't fucking read it, then we're good.
And you want to add in Rach is legally blind, as you said before.
Rach is legally blind. So I mean, that's just And I've said this before, and I'll say this again. If you're at a convention with myself and Rachel, and you start hearing me whistling, it's not because I'm trying to whistle at a chick. I'm whistling to get my wife's attention. She knows my whistle, and it's kind of like a bat. It's like, oh, got the sound. All right. It works a lot better than me calling out her name. Because the whistle seems to be more directional. This is not scientific, folks. I'm not saying that we've experimented with this on any kind of scientific level. It's just our experience.
So Rach has echolocation, is what you're saying. That's really what you're coming down to.
To some extent.
That's some fucking impressive shit, man.
Yeah, as long as it's me doing the echolocation. I'll just go, and then she'll be like, whoop, whoop. Oh, there's my husband.
Somebody do a screen grab of that whistle and take it to a location. You would really confuse the hell out of Rachel. Now you've given away the whistle.
Oh yeah. Like, oh my God, the whistle! Everybody has a ringer on the phone. Like North Texas, it's like, what? Like, oh my God,
Eric's everywhere.
I can't handle the truth. Bad Joe.
Dude, we got to get together in New York again, man. It's been too fucking long.
Well, Joe, listen. I'm fully immunized. Rachel's fully immunized.
Me too.
You're fully now.
I'm fully. I'm way over 2 weeks on my second. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So let's now remember and folks, we're delving into real world shit, but it's not real world shit on the level of like politics or
it's when are we going to get together to go to a game store and then afterwards drink and have a fucking burger shit. So yeah, it's tangentially related to this.
Right. So now New York State allows you at a bar to actually belly up to the bar and not have to order food.
All right.
That's a reason. Oh, also New York City bars, 4 a.m. That started this past week. My regular bartender, she was kind of like, I am not quite digging this because 4 a.m. usually means going to another bar at 4 a.m. that stays open to 6 and then getting home at 7 and then having to open up the next day at 11.
Yeah.
So, I could never. I used to think I could retire and be a bartender, and now I realize I could not retire and be a bartender because I'd be dead. Yeah. That's pretty much my solution to that.
Matt says, stay off the subway. I don't want to get stabbed. Matt, you don't get it. As Eric, as a retired police officer in New York, is one of the extremely very few people who's licensed to carry a gun in New York City. So if I'm on the subway with Eric and Rachel, I got to do with a gun next to me. So it's kind of all right.
And not only that, and Matt, you'll understand this through your prior occupation. When I am in certain situations, one of them being the New York City subway system, my head is always on a swivel, especially on the more empty trains. When a train is relatively full and there's a seat available and I can sit next to Rach, I will sit. But if it's a relatively empty car, I am standing because that's the relatively empty cars are when the shit goes down. Because that's
no
when
witnesses. No witnesses.
Well, that's when you can get your prey and get off, as opposed to try to steal something and then like trip over the homeless guy that's behind you. So it's all issues. And come to Connecticut, probably the only state that would tax me more than I'm getting taxed now.
But don't you come up here? Isn't Rachel's family in the western part of Connecticut somewhere? I don't want to say the town, but
it's okay, Danbury, Bethel area.
That's a half an hour for me, dude. Not especially since I moved. It's a half an hour from me, so we can definitely, if you ever do that.
Oh, definitely. And here's the thing: I have not seen my in-laws since Christmas morning of 2019.
Jesus Christ!
Because that's
I don't know how your relationship with your in-laws is. That a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's a bad thing. I get along with my in-laws very well.
All right.
And I really do miss it.
Yeah.
But the only thing I couldn't do on a Christmas morning at that time was raid the spare refrigerator for beer because it's way too early in the effing morning. But
Well, Santa's already did.
Right. So now, Joe. Now we're going to touch on something. Now this is going to probably apply to. I think people, not necessarily in the Northeast, because I know in the case of New York State, and forgive me for saying this, folks, the whole time, my governor's been saying, we're going to follow the science. We're going to follow the CDC regulations.
Governor Groper? Governor
yes,
Cuomo?
yeah.
I mean, Cuomo?
Governor Cuomo.
Yeah.
Governor
Roper
Cuomo.
Mo.
Groper Mo. He's been the whole time been saying, listen, we are not going to do anything that the CDC does not recommend. Yeah. CDC just came out yesterday and said, well, if you're fully vaccinated, indoors or outdoors, you should not need to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And Cuomo went, I got to clear this with my own health chief. Make sure. And I'll be honest with you, part of it, God forbid, I'm going to say the word, is politics, but it's not politics based upon something as simple as party lines.
Yeah.
Our Democratic Party governor and our Democratic Party mayor of New York City hate each other's guts more than I fucking detest Zach Smith. And by the way, I do detest Zach. But again, and I'm going to say this again because there's a contingent of people out there that need a big fuck you. So, Ballsy, if you're listening, this is a personal fuck you to you. I can be Ballsy. He's a jackass that thinks that because I don't take the word of a witness, or in this case, a complainant, who somebody says Zach Smith sexually harassed her and committed offenses. I don't take her and say it definitely happened. I say, you know what? At this point, it's unsubstantiated claim. I can substantiate the fact that he's a fucking asshole who I wouldn't piss on if he was on fire because of the way he's dealt with me and others online, which I personally fucking witnessed. All right. I cannot say the same for somebody, a complainant that I have not personally interviewed. I was a sergeant. I happened to work in an investigative unit for years, and this
Internal
is how
affairs, no less. Internal affairs,
no less.
Yeah.
So this is how I see things, and for you to go, well, if you're not taking her at her word, then you obviously are enabling. No.
And I'm a lawyer, so I look at it differently, the same as you do. It's all about the proof and the evidence. So at the same time, I can honestly say I must be the only person in the known universe or unknown universes who's ever both eaten and gotten drunk with both you and Zach Smith.
Oh, listen. While I tell you, I think that Zach is a piece of shit. All right, and again, personal opinion. Zach knows it. There's no surprises for saying that. If you said, hey, Zach is coming into Manhattan and he wants to go to McSorley's Ale House and have some beers, you know what? I'd say, you know what? I'll go down to McSorley's and I'll have some beers with Zach. And why is that? Because as much as I feel he's a piece of excrement, is that a better way to say it if I don't want to offend people? Nah, shit. Let's go with shit. As much as I feel that Zach is a piece of shit, I'm willing to sit down, have beers with him, and have him prove me otherwise. And maybe he will. I'll be honest with you. Sitting down with Wenger, convinced me for a long time that he was not, a deranged, manipulative shock jock trying.
You said you met him at a convention or something.
I did. We had breakfast together. Great. And then he decided that during, oh my God, I'm gonna step on my dick right now, but during Trans Awareness Month, he decided that he was going to
that was just
self-identify
as Cthulhu or something,
as a green tentacled.
He wanted to. You're gonna kick out of this to my brother and Dwayne in the channel here, and Matt too. If you haven't heard this, that this guy Avenger, whatever the hell his name, Avenger Satanus is the name he goes by, at least, and he puts out publications based in Cthulhu-ish stuff and ish related kind of stuff, and so Trans Awareness Month or whatever the fuck, he came out as like I self-identify as a tentacled thing.
That was it,
or
dude,
some shit.
Listen, I don't have to say.
Come on.
Listen, I have friends who have children that are trans, and I happen to be friends with people who are trans. It's not a lifestyle that I would embrace for myself. But it doesn't mean I can't respect the person, and I'm totally not going to mock them.
Give a shit what they identify. I'm going to treat them as a human being with humanity and understanding and affection and respect and dignity. That's all it's going to come down to. And no matter who you are, I'm going to treat you like that until you treat me differently. Like if you treat me like a shithole, I'll just probably walk away from you. That's why the whole thing with Zach, he's never treated me bad. I've never treated him bad. We just sort of fell apart or whatever after the bullshit that went on, and we haven't talked, and that's the end of that. I don't know that I'd ever go to one of his shows again in New York. I don't know that we'll ever hang out again, I support Mandy in terms of her I don't believe necessarily her allegations in a sense that I don't know if they're true.
I believe that she believes her allegations.
Yeah, exactly. I support the fact that she's coming out with whatever.
I'm not saying I believe that she's making this stuff up. I have difficulty going from yes, this person believes that what they're telling is truthful to saying that this is what happened. And believe me, those two things can be greatly different when it comes to reality.
I've hung around with both of them in New York at parties after hours or whatever the fuck, and I see what I see, and I don't know what I believe, but I support her coming forward because I know it takes a lot of bravery to do such a thing. I don't know if it's all true. I believe her. I believe her that she thinks she's telling the truth.
It's all true. Well, I certainly believe that the feelings that she has are truthful. I don't know if the reality matches the feelings, and that's the strange thing. Now, that being said, who do I respect more as a person at this point? Do I respect Zach Smith, who's a piece of shit, or do I respect the person that mocks trans people during Trans Awareness Month? I would rather sit down with Zach, have a few beers, and give him a bro hug than fucking sit down with Wenger unless he apologized to the community at large. That's just my opinion. Okay, you don't have to agree with it. You could say that both people that you wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't piss on either one of them. Well, actually, I would, as long as they weren't on fire. If they were on fire, they can burn. But again, I have more respect for Zach.
You're really increasing the chances of either of them hanging out with you right now. But I'll piss on them maybe if.
Well, depends on how intox I am. You got to give me some credit there. You got to give me some. David, welcome. David's a regular for the cast. Some of my best friends are Eldritch Tentacled Hearts. John, listen. If you gave up the hallucinogenic mushrooms, you might find better friends. Or you might just find that you have no friends because they were all induced by the mushrooms. I don't know which one it is.
Wow, Matt says you two are dancing a fine line tonight. I never really get into this shit, but I know I don't. You never know what to fucking think or believe. When she came out and said it, I support you. I'm sorry, blah blah blah, and I'm right. I don't know what the fuck I said or whatever, but it's sort of like it takes a lot of bravery to come forward. The truth, I don't know, but I mean. Let's get back to D&D shit, though, man.
we've really wanted. We've taken our hex crawl. We've gone into the weeds. We've gone into the swamp, and I'll be honest with you. I worked for an Irish captain who used to burn fucking turf. And if you don't know what turf is to the Irish, it is basically rotting soil and grass that they will burn like it's incense. But it smells like somebody's burning shit. And he used to burn this in his office and tell me how sweet it smelled. We've probably gone to that point on this podcast. So we're gonna transition. Oh my God, probably a bad phrase. But we're gonna move away from where we are delving right now.
Yeah. I don't think we've gotten each other into any trouble, really, have we?
No.
All right, so.
Zach's not gonna try to fucking sue me because A, I got no money to get and no real property to make it worthwhile.
And B, you haven't said anything defamatory either.
No, everything I said is my opinion.
I don't. Like I said, the bottom line is I don't know what the fucking truth is. You know what I mean? So I came out and supported her coming forward, and I believe she believes whatever. But who the fuck knows what the truth is? The bottom line. So it just sucks because. He did have a lot of good creative output for D&D.
Yes, he did.
He did set a certain tone for a lot of shit. And he did come along and help propel the old school Renaissance into a whole different maybe direction or angle or whatever you want to call it. But he had a big influence. I mean, he was one of the fucking 5e contributors, him and the goddamn RPG pundit, for fuck's sake.
As was the Grey Hook Rodnard, but they were summarily erased. And
I thought Grognard was a contributor to 5e.
Yeah, he was a consultant.
I didn't know that.
They were consulted.
I did not know that Grognard was.
I don't know if Joe was actually named in the book, but he was reached out to. I, however, was not a consultant on 5e.
No, you bailed.
Yeah, well, no.
Could have been. You played your cards right.
No, listen, I was picking on Monty way too fucking much back in the day.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was picking on everybody back in the day. Dwayne, if you look back at my old blog, I gave it a link a long time ago. You'll see the kind of person I was. I was angry. I was probably because I wasn't playing enough D&D and I was just talking to shit about it. But I was pissed because 4D came out. Old school was coming up. I was getting in fights with everybody, and so I mean, it was just the way it was back then. But
so Joe, what you're basically saying is that you sound Irish.
Okay? Yeah, I was.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
And then I started smoking weed and I chilled out a little bit. I guess really when it came down to it.
There you go.
Calming down.
when Rich and I were recording, and this is I don't know, a dozen years ago. I remember we were at this Irish bar in Yonkers, and for those that don't know, Yonkers, McLean Avenue is a huge Irish enclave, and we were in this Irish bar, and we were just having a few beers, and these three Irish Utes, and I called them Utes because they were in their 20s.
Ute, like my cousin Vinny calls them Ute.
Yeah, Ute.
Ute. What? A Ute. Your Honor, a Ute. Your
Honor, these three Utes. They started brawling. They knew each other, and I mean, when I say brawling, I'm talking about beer bottles breaking over heads, not and then going, good
old-fashioned Irish family reunion, basically,
and then going, about. I don't want to cut you with the broken beer bottles. Let me throw this away and get another beer bottle. And, it's one of those things. And they were beating the crap out of each other, and I'm just like going to Rachel, go, listen, I think we really should be. Pair tab, or guesstimate our tab and like add an extra 10 and fucking do the dip, right? And then all of a sudden I hear, "Oi! Yeah, you! Me? Oi! What fucking county are you from?" So apparently they're fighting over counties.
Yeah.
Oh,
clan shit, from back in the day.
So I'm just like, okay. So you have two ways this can go. And I went with I'm going to be the funny asshole. So I went, I'm from County Queens.
You can transcript
where the fuck is that? I go, it's just east of County Kings and south of County Bronx. Oi! You're fucking funny! Comes over, gives me a hug, and then he brought us both around. I'm like, we're going to fucking drink the round, and we're going to get the fuck
out of here. Exactly.
Because we're going to go from being like, you're really funny to, you're a fucking queen. I want to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. You're funny too. Well, you think I'm funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? You think I'm funny? What the fuck's so...
Is it funny? Ha ha. Funny ha ha. I'll give you funny.
Fucking Joe Pesci was the greatest in that fucking movie, man. I found I'm unpacking my shit today, and the only fucking VHS tape I own, all my DVDs and all my Blu-rays, the only fucking VHS tape I own is Goodfellas. I mean, I'm not throwing it out. I don't have a VCR. I don't know where the fuck I don't want to buy a VCR, but I'm not throwing out my Goodfellas VHS, man.
I still have my Spinal Tap on VHS.
Really?
I don't have a VCR.
My brother, I don't know, Geek, do you still have, by the way, I call my brother Geek sometimes, he calls me whatever. Anyway, you still have in chat there, if you're listening, do you still have the Eddie Murphy Saturday Night Live special VHS tape? That was the shit. If anybody could find that on DVD, I will pay them a fucking shit ton of money, because it was all the best SNL Eddie Murphy skits he ever did from back in the day, back when he was funny, when he was raw and delirious. If you got that, man, I would love to get that on fucking TV.
You dropped your ass.
Oh, yeah.
So, Willis 101, I threatened to burn down a Sonic one time because they forgot to put ketchup in my bag with my fries. I can appreciate a good dose of irrational anger.
Was that back in your military days? By the way, Dwayne and Matt, you were both in the military there. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm sure you got a lot of stories in common. I think you might have been in at the same time, too. You both served time during Iraq, I think. The first Iraq. So yeah. We should still have Star Wars on VHS. Yeah, Star Wars on VHS back in the day is when fucking Han shot first, motherfucker. That's when Han. Yeah, that's what you want. Yeah. Eric, carry the show for 30 seconds. I got to piss. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, here, and I'm going to show this up because I just actually watched the new Star Wars series, the animated one, the Bad Seed, the Bad Crew, whatever the hell it is. Somebody save me. But in any case, although it is animated, and I really thought it was going to be shit, James Spahn posted on Facebook that it was a good series. And James is a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, huge. I mean, I think Tolkien stuff is the only thing that comes number 2 for him when it comes to Star Wars. You know, it's Tolkien, Star Wars, and then everything else. And James was like, it's a damn good show. It really holds up. And holy shit, it is good. I can't believe I am watching an animated series that is this well written and spot on. And it makes the drama around the Mandalorian a lot less than I think it deserves to be. And because, yeah. Joe, have you seen the new Star Wars animated series? They have 2 episodes out.
Is that the one with the Bad Batch? That one?
Bad Batch. Okay, I couldn't. Yeah, Boys, Bad
my
Company.
My brother likes it, I think, or at least my nephews like it.
Oh, dude, it's actually very good. If you can, if you can scam a login for it, I would say watch it.
I still got my old roommate's Disney Plus login, so I think I may bust it out then if it's that good.
I mean, I'm going to tell you the truth, and and Rachel's not here, so she's not going to like whack me in the head for saying this. I think it is on par with or better than The Mandalorian, and it's animated.
Really?
So I'm really, because you know what, the first 2 episodes both of them were solid. Really solid fucking episodes that drove the story. And The Mandalorian had like the filler episodes where you kind of went, I just spent 45 minutes watching a shootout for no reason, what the fuck whatsoever.
A B-Western from 1963.
Wait a second. The Western episode, if you didn't realize this, the guy playing the fucking sheriff with the other Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
He was from Deadwood.
Yeah. Oh, Deadwood is a badass show.
Right. So he was the sheriff in Deadwood. So I was like, this worked on multiple levels. All right. I was like, that episode worked. The one where they got shot down and the fucking everything, and it's like they gotta get saved by the 2 fat cops.
Yeah.
Oh, here come the 2 fat cops on patrol.
Oh, yeah.
We killed the last thing for you. Are you okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
They have a donut. They're an intergalactic donut in their hands.
I've got my Star Wars branded donut with my coffee. Look, Dunkin' Donuts Star Wars cup.
Yeah. The munchkin that looks like the Death Star.
Yeah, just give me a fucking break, man.
Oh, man. I got a record player. In fact, I have a record player from the 80s I bought for $25 at a tag sale. Believe it or not, it's fucking badass. I got about 7 big-ass milk crates, or bigger than milk crates, full of records. That's my tomorrow project. So I do have the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack on LP. So I might bust that out now that we're talking about it. Once I get that all set up. And my brother, we're going to maybe set that up as far as early as Sunday once we get over here. I still got the beer supply.
Geek out. Boom, boom.
Yeah. I might check it out, man. I might check it out. See how it goes.
John, I do not follow the Fandom Menace Star Wars drama.
Oh, yeah.
There's enough drama in my social media and YouTube viewing. Occasionally, I'll drop in and check things out from the Quartering when he had some like good drama about Star Wars or Star Trek. Or some comic book that I give a shit about.
Well, there's a few that I follow on that, Eric. There's some good shit. There's some good shit on that.
Who's the one that looks like Dr. Doom?
And fucking Doomcock, man. Overlord DVD, Doomcock. His name is
Doomcock reminds me of another YouTuber. I'm pretty sure I might know who it is.
Who?
But I'm not gonna. I can't remember the guy's fucking name, which is why I'm not going to
Really?
say who it is. Yeah, if you take out the voice distortion, you kind of
That's interesting.
The voice kind of might be. I'm Doomcock. Actually, my contractor who's done a lot of work in his house. I got to reach out to him again. I got more work to get done. Also, a friend of the family on Rachel's side.
Yeah.
He's the one that turned me on to Doomcock. He was listening to it.
Dude. He's fucking hilarious. He was
listening on his phone. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is that? He goes, Doomcock.
Yeah. He's got a great shtick going. This guy, he's got a great shtick. And the thing is with Doomcock, and Doomcock is his official YouTube channel is Overlord DVD. DVD stands for not digital video, whatever the hell. It stands for Dictor, as in Dicter. I don't know, Dictor Van Doomcock, Overlord DVD. His name is not Victor Van Doomcock. Anyway, great shit. And he has weird fucking sources that always turn out to be correct. This motherfucker is always right. It may take a while for his predictions to come true, but they are. And he's talking about Kathleen Kennedy leaving. Talk with the Phantom Menace. As you can tell, I listen to this shit, right?
All right. So did she actually leave? Because I've been hearing that shit too.
It's coming, dude. Other people are backing it up now. There is a thing now that came out a couple of days ago, Variety magazine. Everybody all of a sudden exploded talking about it. Basically talking about how the Bob Iger is out and the new Bob Chapek is really exerting his authority.
Really?
And this article, Variety, says pretty much everything leads to the fact, because if you watch Midnight's Edge, that's another great place with the good sources and all that stuff. But if you watch those shows, you'll see that it looks like they're fucking out. It looks like she might be gone. And the fucking reign of tyranny of her shit over the Star Wars universe might be over with finally, and you might get some good shit finally.
Right.
And if Favreau can get Gina Carano back, right, and it looks like he might, because she's been spotted on set. She might have that Luke Skywalker appearance in the Boba Fett book of Boba Fett or whatever it's called. She might have that agreed, so she might have that appearance.
I'll be surprised though.
I know. Erotic is good.
Erotic is good. And by the way, David, here, would I put down a month's pension on this? No. But if you said, "Hey, I'll put $100 down for a bet," even bet, I would say Doomcock is nerdrotic. Yes.
They've been on the same channel before, man. Talking to each other.
You can do that, man. You got to pre-record it.
No, they're live. They've done live shows. Yes, they've done live shows together. Where Erotic has been live and Doomcock has been on the same show, and so Nerdrotic, looking at his face, he couldn't have been the one to do it. You know what? Unless it was a great fucking scam. I mean, but yeah,
I don't know because if you listen to this, if you take away the distortion, you look into the speech patterns, and you take away the exaggeration, they're very similar. This is
Have you ever heard Doomcock live when he doesn't do his shtick pre-recorded?
No, I haven't.
His live voice is completely different. His live voice, and he sings. I don't think Gary from Nerdrotic can fucking sing.
No, all right. Well, you know what? All right. All right. You might be killing it for me.
And he sings Irish drinking songs. So I don't think Gary does the Irish drinking songs,
Oh, but you haven't been drinking with me at my local pub long enough to hear the Irish drinking songs. Oh, by the way, just so you know, the bartender you met, John, is now retired, but still there as often as he was when he was working.
I was just the other side of the bar. By the way, Dwayne, by the way, Eric is coming to Connecticut if all goes well some point this summer. He lives in some Midwest state that I don't ever remember because it's a Midwest state. Because who the fuck remembers, right?
Iowa,
it's a Midwest state. It's flyover state. So anyway, where the fuck are you from, Dwayne? Anyway, he's from one of those states that, he eventually gets out, that we fly over. And basically, you ever seen that show, Joe Dirt, that movie, Joe Dirt, where he thought he found a meteorite, but it was really like frozen toilet water from an airplane's toilet, and he thought it was a meteor. That's the kind of state Dwayne lives in, I think. It's right next to Matt Jackson's state, if not the same state. All right, so it's one of those kind of anyway.
But Matt Jackson is like one of those southern states.
No. He's like a Nashville-ish kind of guy.
Yeah, which is kind of like southern Midwestern. We're not quite sure what.
Yeah. It's those states where they drop the toilet water out of the toilet in the thing, and people think it's a meteor, like Joe Dirt style. It's one of those fucking states. Anyway, he's gonna fly out at some point, maybe this summer. So we're gonna grab his ass and bring him down to New York, and we'll all get drunk at Queen's Bar.
Dude, I am in. And listen, I know. Obviously, all the bartenders at our Queen's Bar here, and they all do. Listen, when my old bartender John was working, it was dangerous because I was getting bought back generally every round. Buy one get one.
Bad.
You know, it was a
good thing you could walk home though. I remember we walked from your house to that bar. It's a good fucking bar.
It's the reason why I live 2.5 blocks from the fucking bar.
Yeah, you could stumble home.
You know, so now without John, now I get bought back. Generally, it's 2 get one, and now I have to learn to shut myself off at 3, not 4. So it's kind of hard. It's like I should stop when I get my buyback. Whereas before, it's like, well, I gotta get a second buyback. and then the worst when you walk off to the bathroom, you come back and your half drunk beer is now filled. It's well, I had to top it off because
aren't half the guys there either cops or like cop related, cop adjacent or something though? Is it one of those bars? I remember you said he's a cop. He was a cop. He's probation. He was this. He was that.
It's an Irish bar, so you're going to get a lot of people that are civil servants.
Yeah, cop adjacent. I call it.
Cop adjacent. Yes.
Yeah. In other words, a lot of guys in there have a gun.
Well, yeah, quite possibly. Although, John didn't actually start carrying until he got assaulted outside the pub one day. But that's another story.
He got assaulted outside the pub. He's an older guy. Was he younger?
Yeah.
Or did he?
Dude, like 6 years ago. So John's a year older than my parents. So he's like 78, 79.
Yeah, he was an older dude.
So at 72 or so, at another bar that now is closed, we used to have a pool table. Some guy was talking shit to him. The guy was my age, right? And John said to him, "Shut your fucking mouth, or I will shut it for you."
At 72 to 50-year-olds?
At 72, The guy's like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself." Right?
Yeah.
And I heard the story from multiple people, not just John. One shot to the face.
John popped him out. Yeah, he knocked him out.
John knocked him out. Paid the guy's tab.
He's a gentleman too.
So there you go, man.
That's fantastic. That's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. I remember him. Yeah, he bought us there. He bought us around. I remember that. Yeah, he's a good fucking guy. Yeah, but definitely, Dwayne. If we hit New York, Dwayne, you still here, motherfucker? Where are you? I don't see you popping out in your comments.
Silent.
Yeah. But anyway, you come out here. We're gonna hit New York. We're gonna hit the Complete Strategist because it's the world's greatest game store. It may not be the greatest. It may not be the biggest. I should say. It may not be have the most stuff, but it's the greatest.
It is the greatest. It has the most
history.
Yes. The Complete Strategist.
I talked to the guy there. He knows everybody. The owner knows everybody.
I kick myself because when I used to go there back in the day, at Foot Level is where you had all the Jurgis stuff.
Yeah,
and
the old
the Judges
stuff.
Guild and all this other small press stuff. And I was always like, turn my nose like, who'd buy this shit?
Yeah.
And now I go, man, if I'd only bought this shit.
I know. Be rich. Be rich, man. And that's the problem now is going down to the Foot Level stuff underneath because the Foot Level stuff is buried behind boxes because of their fucking inventory system is they just have as much as they can in the store. So one time I did move the boxes, but the problem again, it goes back to the Swords and Wizardry Fund. I'm too old and fat to bend down and get on my hands and knees and look at the fucking shit down there. It would take a crane to get my ass up. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard to get down there and look at all this stuff. But I did look at it one time. It took me a couple hours. But I did look at it one time, and it's like they got a lot of old stuff there that you're not going to find anywhere else, because they've been in business 50 fucking years. They've been in business since D&D started, and so they have stuff going back, man. And so anyway, Dwayne, we hit there. We're going to do it, man. We're going to do it. We're going to hit that store. We're going to bring it down. We're going to get you drunk in New York City. I don't know if you're bringing your wife with you, but you can leave her with Jen, my brother's wife, and we're all the guys will hit New York. My brother will finally meet Eric. You haven't met actually. Because my brother bailed out on the fucking what was that, ShireCon he's supposed to go to last year. I told him 6 months in advance, fucking prepare, get ready, schedule it, get the permission from the wife, put the credits in the bank, do what you gotta do. We're gonna go.
He has no excuse this year. You're gonna show
No, I gave him a fucking plenty of warning last year and he bailed on me because of
there was no ShireCon last year.
The year before.
You're like me.
Yeah, I forget it's a lost year.
Because I told Rachel, I go, yesterday was my hump day from my 2-week hospital stay last May.
Yeah.
I was like, honey, because I was taking like daily pictures of that fucking board where they make the updates. It's like, oh, let me take another picture of this shit. And it's like, wow, man, 2020 was a year I could truthfully do without.
Yeah,
COVID notwithstanding.
Suck balls.
But I'm very glad that we're getting back to normality. By the way, David, Schlaf gut,
Dave.
Guten Nacht. David's leaving us. David's out he's on the other side of the pond. So, and he used to work for Games Workshop when Games Workshop actually produced role playing.
Wow,
games.
really? No shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Good for you, Dave, man. Awesome, dude. Yeah. Willis Dwayne. I don't think she'll allow me in New York, but I heard to monitor my. Here's the deal. You got to get Jen to get my brother's wife to take Dwayne's wife out somewhere to do something girlish. And that way it's our perfect excuse to take the train down to New York and do something guyish. Then we could get away with it that way. That's the key. Dude. Yeah. You know? And if we could get Matt Jackson out here finally, what the fuck, Matt?
Geez,
come on, man. You got to time it, Matt.
I had to talk to the bartender and like, listen, this guy's on a limit. You got to cut. He's Army, so you got to cut him off at 4 because he's Army but retired from the Army, so he doesn't realize his limit is no longer 8 or 9. So you got to cut him off at 4 because otherwise he'll become Army-ish. And we don't need trouble in this here too.
Dwayne was Army too. I think Matt and Dwayne were in the Army at the same time back in fucking Iraq. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I think they were back in the day in the same time, and back in the old days. So, Matt's been in the Army for like 78 years because he's like 90 or something like that, right? So, yeah, but this is the funny thing is that, dude, we didn't know what the fuck we were going to talk about tonight, and maybe it shows, but I actually did research a little bit. And I had a whole lot of stuff. I spent an hour and a half researching shit for tonight, what we were going to do, Yep.
And folks, just to prove that we did the research, I'm going to show you because I'm going to do a screen share, and it's like we had these websites like all hooked up ready to talk about, and we have not talked about them, and it's and why is that? Because of you, because you're driving the conversation. Matt's allergic to New York City. Matt,
come on, dude. When I shotgun 2 beers last week with 20-something year olds, taught them how to do it. Dude, you hanging out at the college? What the fuck, dude? Good for you, man. I shotgun
2 beers with 20 and taught them how to do it, at which point he went into the corner and puked.
And then passed out for the rest of the night. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, you
gotta show your age, man. If you're gonna shotgun 2 beers, they gotta be ice. Has to be Bud Ice if you're going to do shotguns. Because that was the age of shotgunning beers. When you had everything had to be an ice beer. Why an ice beer? Because you had more alcohol.
Higher alcohol. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Matt's daughter just graduated to master's. Good for you, Matt. Because I honestly think that if your kids graduate with a higher degree, it's on the parents. The kids achieved it. Honestly, yes, but. Fucking A, the parents did a good fucking job. If your kid graduates a good college or a higher degree, fucking A, dude. That's really it. It really is.
Dude, I cheated, man. I married a master's.
Nice.
I didn't earn one. I was like, oh, you got a master's?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Admittedly, it's in social work. All right.
Still, it's a master's.
No. It's funny because.
I'm waiting for Rachel's hand to appear on the screen, slapping you upside the head for downgrading her degree.
No. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I'm more impressed with the fact that this weekend she'll have 1 weekend left for her 300-hour yoga instructor course.
She's doing it then, finally. Yeah, nice, dude.
She did the 200, which certified her as an instructor. This is the advanced. She finishes it when we're at North Texas. She'll be doing it by Zoom on Saturday and Sunday when we're at North Texas. And I am more impressed by that than her social work degree.
Yeah, I mean, social work is studying. Yoga is like real fucking doing it stuff. Yeah.
Right. But not only that, it's because, listen, I was a cop. I enjoyed it. It was a career. Rach is a social worker. She's enjoyed a large portion of it, but it's a career. Yeah. But social work will be something that it's something that she can leave behind and do yoga, and it's something that will drive her. Yeah. And it's it's kind of like, if I hadn't retired, would I be able to do these live streams multiple times a week and put up a YouTube every day and blog and everything else I do and work on these other projects on the side?
Yeah. No, probably not.
No, I wouldn't.
Yoga is her D&D for you. Really, it's her retirement thing.
And I'm very happy for her. I am thrilled.
I remember talking about it, starting doing it, and we were talking stuff in the bar, and then because I was into the metaphysical or the philosophical, whatever you want to call it, that aspect of yoga rather than the physical part of it that she's doing, and we were talking different schools and whatnot. It's interesting shit. It really is deep stuff, man. So I'm glad she's doing it because it's personal development as well as something that's going to propel her forward as a second career when she retires. So that's great. Matt's actually talking New York now. Look at this. He's actually going to make a mess of New York City.
That's fine. Matt, I can offer you two things when you come to New York. I can show you the best of New York, and I can show you the worst of New York.
You gotta go to Hunts Point.
Oh, Hunts Point's not the worst of New York.
Not anymore, right?
Never was. It was bad.
No?
Yeah. It was never the worst. No,
What's the worst now? What's the current worst, I should say?
The current worst half the fucking city. I would say that the worst in New York City right now is probably going to, at least when I was working, it was the 4-6 precinct, which is north of Yankee Stadium, 1 square mile with no public housing, yet everything was like public housing.
Really? Bronx? We're talking Bronx still.
We're talking to Bronx. It was a 1 square mile. I worked there one day. And I swear to God, my head was not in a swivel. My head was just spinning. I was like, how the fuck does anybody keep this pace? When we went end of tour, the precinct was holding like 22 jobs. I mean, there were 22 unassigned assignments that were being held for the next tour because nobody ever got to them because and it was 1 square mile.
Was that what they called Fort Apache back in the movie?
No.
All right, that's a different place.
Yeah, Fort Apache in the movie. They filmed it on location for a lot of the scenes, and
that was when New York was a shithole.
Oh yeah,
that was a complete shithole.
The opening scene where the 2 cops get shot in the RMP in a patrol car by the hooker. That was on Interville Avenue. I actually knew the spot. So, the outdoor scenes were filmed in the 4-2 precinct, my first command. So when they stormed in the precinct, and there were all these surrounding buildings throwing shit at the precinct. When I got there, most of those buildings they were throwing shit from no longer existed. Those were our parking lots where we had a steamroller apparently come in years before I got there to grind down all the bricks so you could park there. So those were our unofficial parking lots.
Jesus Christ.
But that's where they filmed the outdoor scenes. The 4-2 precinct was affectionately known as Warriors of the Wasteland.
It's like a Mad Max fucking theme, man. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, so
Warriors of the Wasteland. I can just see men driving down your fucking car like Mad Max and fucking patrol.
Oh, dude, it was my first night as a rookie. They put 30 of us out with 30 rookies, all on solo foot posts, and then the radio went crazy because everybody saw these rookie cops out there. So you'd be walking by like housing projects, and I learned what airmail was real quickly when a soda can full landed about 10 feet from me.
Now, was it a full soda or full of piss?
Full soda. Never opened. Landed, and these things are being thrown out of windows. Then like you get like ceiling tiles flipped at you and all that stuff. So by the end of the night, they linked up everybody but me because there were 30 cops. One was the sergeant's operator. 28 got matched up, but because I had the post closest to the station house, they forgot about me. So I just, my captain rolled up on me and was like, "Well, just so you know, it's an illegal social club at the end of the block over there. You should walk in there and make your presence known." I went to the captain, I'm like,
social club is in Italian mob style or something else?
No, as Dominican. And I was just like,
all right. You don't fuck with Dominicans, man. You don't fuck with the Dominicans.
No. I go, "Captain, are you going to come in with me?" He goes, "Well, no, you're a police officer." I'm like, "Okay, I'll just take that as a suggestion, not an order." And I did not go in.
Yeah.
But and then when 6 months later, I got transferred to the 401 precinct, Hunts Point. The 401 precinct was known as Fort Apache, but we had the quote new building, which was opened up a year and a half prior. Already, the front doors were broken off their hinges. This is just the quality of the craftsmanship of the mid 90s. But the original building was being renovated, and when they finished renovating it, oh my God, beautiful! They wouldn't allow peons like us to come into it. It became the headquarters for the specialized units for the Bronx.
Oh, SWAT or whatever, or higher ups.
Well, no, that's SWAT. But like narcotics and vice and intel and all those other specialized units. Yeah. But they renovated it. It looked amazing. Those indoors, but that's where they filmed all the indoor scenes for Fort Apache.
Interesting.
So when you walked in and they showed you the desk and all that stuff, that was all the original 401, which was on Simpson Street, and the deal with Simpson Street, the old Fort Apache, and this has been going on. Apparently, it had been going on since that time, the 70s. Yeah. It was not a safe command to enter if you were from somewhere else.
Really?
Because there was usually a cop with a garbage pail of dirty water situated at a window above the entrance, and they would hit people, and with complainants, other commands. They hit a highway cop who wanted IAB to come down because he had water in his boots. Literally, he got full on. And when when the duty captain came, they just told him to suck it up and move on because you're in the 401. This is what happens to anybody.
See, now these are great fucking D&D ideas, man. If you want to loop it back into the game, this is because everybody talks about Thieves Guild. I mean, Matt Jackson and Dwayne were talking all kinds of fucking army lingo here that nobody fucking understood except for them. I guess where they were, when they were, what they did. But I mean, if you talk about Thieves Guild, I don't want to disparage cops, but there's a certain element of cops that are corrupt, right? In various cultures or places. Let's talk Mexico, for example, right? And so
there's corrupt cops in any large department.
Yeah.
Any large department.
Exactly. Especially back in the 70s or 80s. It was like the way it was, right? And so, I mean, you look at shows like with the Wire, things like that, or that show on HBO that they had the oh God, what the hell was it? It was a 3-season show that spanned various eras. Not sure that was a good, interesting one as well. But this one I'm talking about, The Deuce, right? Expand 3 different eras of time. But yeah, you see, corrupt cops everywhere. But just like a Thieves Guild, the corrupt cops have their own lingo, they have their own rituals, they have their own indoctrination, they have their own hazing. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's when you got a corrupt cop system, you have a Thieves Guild, right?
You do.
So you're thinking about it in terms of D&D. You have competing Thieves Guilds. You have the legally sanctioned Thieves Guild, sanctioned by the powers that be, and then you have the other Thieves Guild that's sanctioned by the people, the Thieves Guild of the people, where they would rob I don't know. I guess if you want to think about it as the Thieves Guild of the people, they'd be against the organization, they'd be against the band, against the fucking powers that be, right?
Right. Well, and here's the thing. Generally speaking, like when we look at the Dirty 30, or you looked at you've probably seen some of the documentaries about the dirty cops.
Yeah.
And listen, I not only have I seen them all.
Well, you worked in internal affairs. I mean,
I worked in internal affairs. I actually got to hold, although I didn't get to look into, the original Serpico files.
No shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just saw that movie about less than a year ago, man. It was one of those COVID movies. Fucking amazing movie, dude. It's awesome.
But I actually knew his niece, but that's a totally different discussion. Yeah, he left the job. He wasn't necessarily 100% stable, but in any case,
Serpico?
Yeah.
No shit. You met him?
Oh yeah. I never met him. I knew his niece.
Okay.
She was a cop on the job, and I
also
also knew
a lot of hell. He went through a lot of shit and a lot of hell.
He went through a lot of shit. He moved upstate New York, and their Conrail, one of the commercial train rails in the Northeast.
I haven't heard that in a long time. That phrase.
Conrail goes past his property.
Oh shit!
And I was actually told by one of their engineers, because secret. I worked in a former precinct. Hunts Point, one of the things we have is one of the largest Conrail depots in the country, and the cleanest bathrooms. If you needed to shower and you were a cop, you didn't shower in your command. You showered at Conrail. Huh. Honest to God. It was safer and it was cleaner.
Jesus Christ.
And one of the engineers told me, he's like, our property was backed by Serpico's, our tracks go by Serpico's property. And, we have learned that when you go past his property, he goes, you can't look at, you generally, his property is on the right if you're going north. He goes, you got to kind of stay to the left if you're like, not hang out on the right. I go, why? Because he thinks you're looking at him and the train goes by. He takes pot shots at the train.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, what the fuck? Again, this is what I was told. And from having spoken with his niece, I kind of believe the stories.
Now I just think of Al Pacino taking pot shots at me while I'm driving the train.
Listen, honestly, was Serpico unceremoniously fucked by the department? Yes,
absolutely.
So when Ray Kelly was back for his second term as commissioner, Ray Kelly wanted to issue him the Medal of Honor. And to get in touch with him, they had to go through his niece because he was not, and she related. And his response was, unless they plan on mailing it to me, I'm not interested.
Oh, shit.
He wanted nothing to do with the department, nothing to do with coming down to One Police Plaza. Wow. I can't blame him. But when we're talking about, in a way, you're talking about like Thieves Camp, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I remember the old Dragon magazine where I did do this back before photocopying. So yes, I removed the pages. Oh, yeah. You had Thieves Camp with one of those issues, and you could take it out and make it into your own booklet. For some reason, I thought that would be really cool. I never used it, but in any case, cops have their own lingo. Not dirty cops, but cops have their own lingo, and much of that lingo is very specific to their location, to their department.
Yeah,
like the NYPD.
Interesting. So that's like neighborhood thieves camp. That's like breaking it down by if you want to get into D&D. Again, I'm just trying to train it back to D&D.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a neighborhood thieves camp. It's like the Irish neighborhood, the Italian neighborhood, the Portuguese neighborhood. I'm not trying to be ethnic and all ethnic groups are. I'm just saying neighborhoods have their own language, right? And so it's just the way it is.
Especially then.
Yeah.
And now like the NYPD, when you had certain phrases, and listen, some of these phrases are not going to be considered to be correct. Wood shampoo or to turbanize somebody usually meant that you hit somebody over the head with a nightstick or your day-billy.
Wood shampoo, you said?
Wood shampoo or turbanize. You turbanize because they needed to get the head wrapped.
All right.
Skell. Now, you might have heard skell, and people go, where does skell come from? Skell comes from somebody looking like a skeleton. Skell comes from generally heroin addicts.
Heroin. I was just going to say heroin. It's got to be a skeleton face. Yeah,
but it became more than that. It became, look at those skells. It could be crack addicts. As times changed, it encompassed, more than the initial.
Yep.
Of course, we all know what a paddy wagon is. That's probably used amongst different departments.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Patty's Irish, right?
Yes.
Patrick,
And Patty,
all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, the Patty wagon comes because they used to, a lot of times in the early days of policing, probably in New York, Philly, Boston, and in these East Coast cities that had a lot of Irish immigrants.
Yeah.
And think about this for your D&D campaigns. Well, why are all the dwarves in the watch? Because maybe the dwarves will get drunk, right? And they get arrested, and they're given a choice.
Yeah.
Well, you can either join the watch, or you're going to spend a year in jail for being disorderly.
Well, my father was given a similar choice, but it was the opposite. My father was the guy who was, and my brother's here, he could vouch for this. He was back in the day, youngest of 7. His mother died when he was 4, and so he was always in trouble with the cops or whatever. But my father was physically too fast to be caught. He ran faster than the cops did, so they couldn't quite get him on anything. Hard. Yeah, exactly. So they finally got him on some shit. They said, you got a choice. They said, you get locked up here like you've been last night or whatever. You could join the fucking, I think they said Air Force, but he couldn't get into the Air Force because he had like a back issue, whatever. So they got into the Navy, and so that was the choice. I mean, it was like that kind of a thing, though. So you're talking about this situation there. Yeah, that was that's true. That's true to form, based on real life. Yeah.
Bracelets or handcuffs. A lot of times, all right, this is something that we used to use. If you saw somebody, like you stop somebody and you find a gun, you see that they have a gun. They don't know yet, right? Or you stop somebody in a car and you see the gun in the seat next to them. You would tell your partner, "Hey, we're gonna go out for a hot lunch later." Hot lunch was the key word that you had a firearm. It's changed over the years. That's what we used 20 years ago in my unit. But you'll have these key phrases that you'll throw out there because you don't want to say "gun" because then it changes the whole dynamic.
The tone of the encounter, exactly. Yeah, it gets hostile all of a sudden. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, with my son, when he was younger and I was working and I'd always be carrying off duty. Yeah. He was always the individual to double check me to make sure that nothing was showing. Yeah. And I never and we had a code word for it. And our code word for it was jewelry. Yeah. He goes, I can see your jewelry.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that, dude. I can see your gun as you're walking down 42nd Street.
Yeah, that's bad because everybody panics when they see you do a gun.
Dude, your jewelry's showing. All right. Yeah. Well, obviously you're in New York. You want to cover your jewelry up, right? Yeah. It was a perfect code word for the firearm. So every department will have this. Now, our military guys were talking in code, but it was numerical code. And every department has its own 10 code usually. Yep. And the NYPD's 10 code is not going to be the same 10 code as Yonkers or Philly or Chicago or any other place or LA.
Yep. It's like the scanner. You listen to a scanner from different towns, and you'll hear a different code for different things.
Right.
And so that's a version of thieves can't, but for the cops, right?
Right.
So if you got a corrupt police department,
because you're talking numeric code. So now after 9/11, one of the things that the federal government realized is, well, 9/11, everybody got mobilized. I'll be honest with you. That first night when I was working 9/11, I was down there at the towers, at the ruins. Yeah. Chicago PD's emergency service rolled up at like 8:00. Yeah. And came up to me and they're like, "Oh, dude, what do you want?" I go, "I don't know. Who the fuck are you?" Oh, it was Chicago. They came in unmarked SUVs. They heard the towers got hit.
And they started driving out. Huh?
They started driving. They didn't get authorization until they were almost out of Ohio.
Yeah.
So that's just the mentality. Now, here's the problem. If I'm on New York City cop, it's like, Central, show me 10-4 that 10-4 on your last transmission. Show me I'm 84 at the location. Can you 10-1 the caller and verify the information?
Yeah.
Just show me on a 10-7. I'm standing by. All these numbers right now. Chicago's gonna have a whole different set.
So,
So the feds went, holy shit, we need to get people trained to not use 10 codes, to use common parlance, common talk when you're in these situations.
Defeats the purpose of people who are monitoring scanners for that purpose.
But when you have a situation now that it's going to be like one of those, holy shit moments, like Hurricane Katrina, the NYPD sent 400 cops.
Yeah, you were out in fucking Staten Island, weren't you?
For Sandy, I was out in Coney Island.
Coney Island,
the Rockaways. I have pictures of it. Amazing shit. But Katrina, we actually sent people to Louisiana.
Okay.
And that was one of the first major incidents where they didn't use 10 codes.
Yeah.
Because you had all these departments from across the country that were just showing up to help, and it's like, you're not going to learn new 10 codes. You're not going to have them talking to you in your so it's like, NYPD 2607 will be your car number. Respond to an assault at, and then you could, Central, we took a complaint report on that. We'll forward it to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you think about this, then you have let's think like Waterdeep or some other fucking town, Greyhawk or whatever, right? Again, bring us back to D&D shit. Some semblance of getting back to gaming talk. But I mean, you're talking about that. You're talking about the cops have their own code. The thieves have their own code.
Yep.
Each neighborhood thief group has their own code. Each neighborhood cop group has their own code, right? And so you got all these different camps. You almost have like police camp, thieves can't, neighborhood thieves can't, neighborhood police can't, right? You have some broad things that carry over from neighborhood to neighborhood, and then you got the specifics of your own neighborhood and the specifics of your own cops.
It's all these different layers. But here's the thing: when we talk about thieves in D&D, all right, especially classic D&D, 1E when you have thieves guilds, right, and your thief from another city comes into it, you're I don't know. I forget my places in all these locations, but just say you're from another location. You're going into Waterdeep. What do you do as a thief? Right. The first thing you're supposed to do is search out the Thieves Guild and say, "Hey, I'm so and so from. I'm checking in." And guess what? You get treated pretty well. As a thief,
you got your bona fides. Right? You're from Baldur's Gate. You know what I mean, or whatever.
Right. And why is that? Well, you know what? The real world cognate of that is, and this is a joke that is said amongst cops, but it is true to a large extent. And even though it's said in a quote sexist manner, that it's the biggest boys club in the world, the honest to God truth is it's the biggest social club in the world. And why is that? Because when I was working as a sergeant in 2002, 2003, I remember a British Bobby came in to the station house. Tall black guy, 6'6". I was like, holy shit.
Jesus.
And he showed his he was from London, and he showed his ID, and it's like, I was hoping that I could get to ride along. And I was like, well, we don't do, if you want to ride along in the NYPD, I mean, there's paperwork involved. That's going to get approved through one police plaza. And I said to Lou, we got a British Bobby here. He's looking to ride along. Yeah, he goes, call Inspector Adam. He goes, yeah. Well, and he called in like the quote non-shaky cops. And, the cops that called him in and said, hey, listen, you got to ride along from London. Oh, awesome, great. There you go. Yeah. It is an easy way to break into a community that normally you would not be able to break into because you have that connection.
Dude, it's like a secret society. It's like the Masonic lodges. It's the same fucking thing. I mean, that gets into any secret society, from druids to bard groups to whatever the hell your D&D secret society is. You're talking, what are the characteristics? You're talking a sense of brotherhood, same symbols and signs and codes, but they all relate back to a code of behavior and a sort of trust, right? That's what you're talking about. You can trust the guy because he's a cop in Chicago, New York, San Francisco, New Orleans, wherever the fuck you're from. You all face the same shit every fucking day. And therefore, you're going through the same bullshit. And no matter what you call it, what your code word is, you're dealing with the same crap. And therefore, you share a bond together, right?
Right.
So then it's just a matter of what language they use to describe the shit you go through every fucking day.
Right.
Because the bond is there already. And so whether it's a secret society, a brotherhood, evil group, a good group, whatever the hell it is, even clerical groups, they have a certain bond. Depending on what clerical group you are in what city and what setting, what rural city, what part of the world, you're talking a bond. You know what I mean? And so the bond is what counts. And then from there, you're talking the language, the groups, the symbols, the archetypes, whatever you want to call it. That's what it comes down to, is sharing a common language, because you already got the common bond, right? So no matter what you're talking about, it's perfect. It's perfect.
And really, that is a huge, huge part of it, man. It's that bond. And again, we've seen it work in the real world, and we have used it in gaming. Yeah. Again, Rangers. When Rangers go from one location to the other, they have that common bond. They're all a Ranger.
They're fighting monsters to protect the society against the evils of the wilds.
So already you're kind of like accepting. It's like, well, he's a Ranger. Well, then I accept. Yeah. And you don't necessarily say like, all right, I'm going to trust another thief.
Yeah.
But
especially not a thief.
Right. But again, when they report to the local thieves guild and they say, "Hey, listen, all right, what are the rules here? Am I allowed to pickpocket? Not allowed? All right, that's not a problem. I'm not here to cause trouble."
Yeah.
All that stuff is because there's a shared general culture between them.
Yeah.
The culture might change based upon locality, but it is, in general, it is shared, and it's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And my brother's saying it's a throwback to the Gygax era. Every campaign treats it differently. Campaign based. Yeah, agreed. I mean, Dwayne is playing a thief from originally, I think, the Heartlands of Forgotten Realms, and he's been retired for X amount of years, a couple decades, raising a family. Now he's back in the game because of reasons, right? So he gets to a certain city, Silver Moon or wherever the hell it was. He checks in. They recognize him. He's, and not him particularly, but they recognize that he knows the signs and symbols and speaks a bit of the lingo. And so, so here's what you can do, here's what you can't do. And he knows some of the symbols. They might show him, hey, this is a place that's protected. This is a place that's not. This is the symbol above the door. Whatever the case may be, he's in on it. You know what I mean? Right. He's not going to fuck up. He's not going to do the wrong thing. And so that's the key, right? And so Rangers are campaign-based, thieves are campaign-based, druids are campaign-based. A lot of this stuff is campaign-based, It's really what it comes down to. And every DM's got to flesh that shit out, Even little things. Like, I was actually, believe it or not, thinking about this before. Like a character like Dwayne's thief, right? He'd walk into a bar, and he's in this city where he's been explained the basic symbols, right, of that city that city uses. And he sees a little thing scratched above the bar, above the door to the bar, and it's a little symbol that says this place is protected by the local thieves guild. He knows not to steal from it. No other character is going to recognize that, right? But I could text Dwayne that in it because we're playing Roll20. I could send him a quick text saying, "Hey, that place is protected. You see the symbol of the double cross helix or whatever the fuck it is above the bar." He knows he's not going to steal, and that's flavor, right? That gets him invested in the setting. That's good flavor for the setting, right? And so little things like that really invest the character as a thief, especially a thief, because in 5e or later editions, it's all about the backstab damage, but they're combat things. But when you really get back to it, it shouldn't be. It should be about the community. It should be about stealing. It should be about Thieves Guild and the old swords and sorcery style, rather, I should say, of Lanquar and things like that. That's how I'd rather play it. But it really comes down to Thieves and later editions are all about how much backstab damage do they do if they're flanking somebody. Fuck that. That just gets me so annoyed. But in any case, I mean, what you can do with that is so cool if the DM invests the time into fleshing that aspect of it out. But unfortunately, later editions, they don't do that much because it's all about the XP for combat, not the XP for other things.
They don't. But here's the thing, too. Again, you can define for your thief, your ranger, any of these classes that seem to have, not necessarily secret society, but certainly have a kind of organization, an organization. Yeah. Get 3 or 4 things that might normally be called something that maybe they refer to their bow differently. Or maybe, you just change 2 or 3 or 4 words to things that are now, it's because this is how it's referred to. Those are, look at those skulls over there. It's like, So did you vanquish your foes? Oh no, I get them a wood shampoo.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and it changes the aspect just a little bit, and it makes it more atmospheric. Which I'm not saying that we don't do that with old school gaming. We like to, but it's not something that is often done.
Because it needs a lot of old school gaming. The mistake a lot of old school gamers make is that it's all about the quick and dirty dungeon, and it's not about a long campaign. That's not true. That's really not true, because I think that's doing a disservice to the old school theme, because you could really flesh out a campaign with an old school game, old school essentials, with Labyrinth, or whatever you want to play. You can really do it if you put the time invested into it.
Right.
Because you're missing something. You think old school is all about dungeon delving, and that makes no sense in the greater picture. You know,
even Gary would probably not say that role playing is supposed to be ROLE role playing. It should be rolling dice and have fun. But even
it's
Gary
evolved. It's evolved.
Not only is it evolved, okay. Even when we played back in it, did I play with funny accents? Yes, that was role playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Did your players want to hit on the serving lunch? That was role playing.
Oh yeah. That's getting late because you're 14 and can't get a girlfriend.
Right. My friend, my old gaming group is still pissed at me they can never get laid.
Yeah.
Because I told them I was never going to role play that with you, so go screw yourself. But I mean, so we were role playing even back then when it comes to that. But these are just little tricks that you can use to make it literally feel a little bit deeper without trying much, without trying that hard.
My brother says versions don't have nothing to do with the play style. It's the part I don't get about you old schoolers. It's because most people who look at the old school just see dungeon delves in dungeons that make no fucking sense. And a lot of old schoolers still play it that way. They've not evolved. A lot of old schoolers still just do a fucking stupid dungeon that doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I was there, a dragon in one room, devils in the other, demons in the next. It makes no sense, you know. And so
I got my dragon in a 10x10 room.
Come on, what the fuck does that mean, right? So if you do old school right, you can do the immersion, you can do the setting, you can do all that stuff without being burdened down by fucking 3-hour-long combats for one fucking encounter. You know what I mean? Right. So that's the benefit. That's the beauty of an old school game, is you have the capability to do anything you want to do within the world in terms of depth or detail or whatever, immersion, but you're not bogged down with stupid fucking long ass combats, especially as you get higher level, right? So that's the benefit if you do it right. I mean, if you do it as the way it's maybe not designed to be done, because back then it wasn't designed to be done a certain way at all, but it's evolved to be a certain way, right? I mean, and you can do it that way if you want to do it that way, you know. You know, we did have topics, believe it or not.
We alluded
to before.
Here, I'm going to tell you, folks, best setting I never played in 3.5. Midnight. There you go. There. We'll probably touch on that maybe in 2 weeks. So you can.
Yeah. It's probably dead now. They get into it now at this point, but we do have topics for next time. We promise.
we promise. Listen, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, to our live audience, you guys have been great. You've been lively. I really, really do appreciate it. Even Joe's brother, who's a negative Nilly, all right, and Matt Jackson, who is just, you know,
he's just an old bastard, Matt Jackson.
Yeah, an old bastard. You know, he's Matt.
Yeah.
But
my brother likes 5th edition. He doesn't understand the old school as much as we do. And he thinks there's a combat between the old school and newer editions. But
that's because your brother likes training wheels. That's okay. You're allowed
to. He's raging right now in front of his fire as he throws his Sam Adams down into the fire, smashing the beer bottle into the flames. Smoke erupts into the sky. And he's like, fuck you, Eric Tenkar.
I've taken my second short rest and my first long rest. And now I'm making my 7th save not to die. How many more do I have to fail before I die? I'm sorry. I can't. Fifth edition. Listen, God bless 5th edition. The rising tide that lifts all ships. So I bust on it like I would bust on a cousin that I really, really adore, but can't stand them because they get way too much attention. Same way. I adore it, and I appreciate it for what it does. But I'm gonna bust on it because it's like, why do you get so much attention for being so easy? It's like, well, I guess that's why you're so, all right, don't the easy girls get all the attention? Oh my God, I'm being sexist. All right, well, easy guys don't get attention. I'll tell you that much. I've tried.
We're all easy. Aren't guys generally easy to begin with? I mean,
yeah,
that's the kind of thing about guys. But I mean, the gist is whatever you like playing, you like playing. That's the gist of it, right?
Yes.
I like, some people like characters with more options that make it more customizable. Some people like more combat things. I like simple shit, maybe because I'm a simple person. That's why I gravitate towards old school games. And I've tried to make my 5e game as old school as I can in flavor, while still keeping it old school within the parameters that my players will accept. Right, I tried to make it even more old school. My players revolted, and so they wouldn't. Not my brother, but other players, and they just revolted. And so I had to scale that back. So
maybe they're just revolting. I don't know.
They were young kids. They were young 20-someths, and it's like they just couldn't deal. And they only played 5e, and so I had house ruled so much of 5e. There was barely 5e, and they couldn't stand it. Right, so I was like, I can only go so far with 5e. I'm barely tolerating what I'm playing now in 5e, only because I've house ruled the fuck out of it. And that's the way it goes, right? So,
right.
But I do my hardest in old school games, and I try to make it as old school as I can within parameters available by the game system and the players, right? So that's really what it comes down to. But whatever fucking floats your boat, good for you. Whatever you like, good for you. We're all playing D&D at the end of the day, no matter what. It's like Scotch drinkers. Some people drink whatever the fuck, and some people drink the shit scotch, right?
Yeah, I need my scotch triple blended and quadruple filtered, and it's like when I need my whiskey with cinnamon. No, actually, proper 12 was good shit. But now that my cinnamon whiskey is done, I'll be drinking.
Yeah, I mean, some people drink fucking high end vodka, and some people drink the fucking shit. You know what I mean? Whatever, no matter what it is.
Time out with the vodka, you can't drink the shit, man.
Well, Dubra, we're talking Dubra here. That's the wino vodka, right? Dubra.
Oh Jesus, that'll make you sick, man.
That'll destroy your stomach.
That's
like, you got a hole in your stomach.
It's like playing 4E. We just don't wish this. We don't wish that on anybody.
That's
okay,
true.
So
it's true. That's alcoholic vodka. That's like drinking.
God bless, man.
It's like Colt 45 vodka. You know what I mean? That's the equivalent.
Colt 45 was bad.
Well, except for Lando Calrissian liking it so much because other than that, remember that? Remember those Colt 45 commercials with fucking Billy D. Williams?
Listen, I remember. And now, forgive me if I'm wrong. I think it was called Mississippi Mud.
What the fuck is that?
It was like a stout, but it came in one of these fake. It looks like one of those, like when you get moonshine in,
But
it was
jug.
Jug. But it was like a 25-ounce jug, and you'd screw the top off, and you have your Mississippi Mud. And I didn't really like it for the taste, but I liked it for the packaging, which was kind of cool. But in any case, folks, again, we're looking to hit 500 subscribers. We're getting close.
I'm sure we didn't. We probably lost some subscribers with tonight's show.
We might have.
It had nothing to do with D&D. We never got anywhere we wanted to go. I think.
Joe, I got news for you. We actually picked up 2.
Did we really? Well, one of them is Dwayne, but he probably is going to quit after this.
Yeah, but folks, here's the deal. When we hit 500, now, if we hit 500 when I'm in North Texas, I might have to wait a week. Hit 500 on a Wednesday night, a live stream with myself and Bad Mike. We're going to give away $500 worth of Drive-Thru RPG Now gift certificates. I was going to give away one, and people were like, but what about everybody else? So here's the deal. It's going to be a $250 gift certificate, $150, and $250. So 4 people are going to walk away with the ability to buy gaming material from Drive-Thru where your spouse won't tell you can't spend the money. Right?
They don't know.
It's a win. It's a win. Listen, your spouse can't buy shit for themselves. Whether it's, I'm not even going to go what it could be. All I'm going to say, it won't be gaming material. You can buy gaming material with it, whether it's PDF, print on demand. So when we hit 500, the next Wednesday after hitting 500, we will do a live stream where I'll give it away. You're going to have to be in the fucking live stream.
Now, weren't we going to do something where it was me and you and Glenn?
I'll bring you guys all in on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I thought that was the big deal, right? Because we hit 500 that first Wednesday. We hit 500. We're all
we're gonna bring everybody in.
Yeah.
Now, if we hit it like Tuesday, on a Tuesday, I'll wait until the following week because because we're going to want to make sure Wednesdays are your overtime nights. Log in from your phone and just say, "I'm fucking here."
Yeah.
You don't have to listen. We just have to see that you were listed and in, and we will make sure that you are in.
And the other thing too, I think if we hit 1,000, then we hit a certain point within YouTube where you motherfuckers could actually tip us.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying we're in for it for the money, but if you tip, as Eric usually does, I'm sure that number that money will probably go towards back to the community, like he always does.
Here's the deal, folks. I think I explained this at the beginning, but this is the drive-through RPG funds that I make. I do not cash out.
Yeah.
Some of the funds go to buying gaming material? Yes. Most of it does not. Does it go to giveaways it's our Christmas? Certainly. Giveaways like I'm talking about now? Certainly. I have fun doing that. Yeah. Does it go to matching funds for GoFundMe's when a member of our community is sick, ill, funeral expenses for somebody and there's a GoFundMe for it? Yes. I'll say I'll match the first $250. This is your money. So when you buy products from me or my affiliate links, your money will go back to the community. It might not go back to you. It might not go into your pocket, but it's going to go back to the community in one way or the other. Yeah. I don't need the money to make my bills. And you know what? Believe it or not, I enjoy using this. Now, some of the money will get invested in projects. Some of this money is going to get invested in Swords and Wizard Continual Light, second printing, not new edition, with digest size, print on demand at drive-through, a professional layout, not serviceable like I did initially.
Please remember, not such glossy print like pages. Bigger fucking fonts, dude.
No. Jeff and I share the same birthday and the same year, so we're the same age. Yeah. So Jeff, my layout guy, understands it's got to be readable.
Yeah,
we got to cater to the aging eyes.
Yeah,
but I'm excited, and again, I'm putting September out there as a date because James Shields is going to be doing a cover on commission for us.
You're going to Kickstarter this thing, or are you going to just put it out?
I am not going to listen. If Jeff wants to do it as a Kickstarter, that would be on Jeff.
Dude, how great would it be if your Kickstarter made your own Kickstarter late list?
I can almost. I can guarantee. I'd have to do the James Raggy. I'm going to make this due in 7 years.
You have to walk in the snow and explain why your fucking shit's late, man.
Yeah, and I have a GoPro camera, so I could do that. Look at me, I fucked up. No, I've assembled a great team of contributors and creators. So if anything goes wrong, it's going to be my fault because the people I've assembled they're not going to be the fuck ups. It'll be me. I am like the project manager, as somebody told me. And if it gets fucked up, then it's going to be me. I'm hoping September. And I'm saying September because I know everybody that I'm working with, that's working with me, has other responsibilities. Like I said, James Shields, he's going to be doing his stuff, working with this stuff come July. Michael Gross, my editor, works for Frog God Games and Troll Lords and Throwy Games. He's got and Pace Setter. He's got a full plate. So gotta throw that in there because I need somebody to fucking proofread my shit. James Spahn, the man works on properties like the One Ring Second Edition and Star Wars and Star Trek. So I'm glad I got him on board. I'm glad James is going to do 3,000 words minimum. It could be more. I won't. I told him I'm not going to stop you if you go beyond it. Yeah. Jeff Jones for layout. Glenn Hallstrom's going to do a one page piece of art, which I asked him. I want something that's humorous. I want something that's got a little bit of a humorous edge to it. Right. So, and I'm open to it. If other people want to contribute picture ideas, I'm open to it. But the idea is, if you have the first printing, nothing's changed. The rules themselves aren't changing. Might we add magical items listing if it's demanded or requested? Sure. Are we adding a micro setting and adventures? Yes. But that's adding to it. Your original rules are still complete. Yeah. You're not going to be going, Oh, but I need to buy the new. No, if you're playing with them already, then that's fine. Have fine and dandy. Oh, and they should be print on demand or drive-through, not just Amazon. So.
And I got a slight maybe announcement to make. I mean, actually, I haven't even told you, Eric. I was talking to my brother about this. I've been thinking about it a bit. I believe that I'm going to sort of launch my YouTube channel. I've been a member of YouTube forever and a fucking half now. Like 12, I don't know, 10, 12 years. I don't know what the fuck I've been on here. And it's youtube.com/JoetheLawyer, right? And so right now I have 0 followers because I never produced a fucking video. But this is more of a long-term thing. I got to fucking unpack. I got a million books here, man. I got an insane amount of shit, so I still have a lot to do, but at some point I want to do stuff on a YouTube video. Again, you won't see my face, my beautiful, gorgeous face, but motherfucker, somebody just subscribed to my channel and it's Dwayne. I have my first subscriber and it is Dwayne. Dude, I have a subscriber, so that's what it looks like when you get one.
refresh. You have 2.
2. All right, cool, man. I didn't know I even had the name Joe the Lawyer as a YouTube channel, but I guess I do. I signed up so long ago that it didn't have my real name or anything, So let me just, I think I can actually show something here. Hold on. I'm going to turn my video on for all you motherfuckers who want to get a quick glimpse at me because they're not going to see me. But look, I still got a lot of fucking boxes here, all right? I got a lot of shit to unpack.
I see boxes.
So I got a lot of shit to unpack. But once I get this bullshit over with and stuff and get it all undone, I will get a channel going. And I think I'm going to focus on sort of development of a game that I've been trying to release in my head for 6 or 8 months. More of a Bronze Age setting. More of definitely old school. It might be my old rule set. It might be an adapted OSE or Ash or something or modified, whatever the hell. But it's going to be a setting that I'm going to sort of create myself. I already have a couple of areas of it, and I'm going to incorporate everything I've ever done. I created an Ash-based setting, a setting that I ran an Ash game in. I created Blood Island. I created a new continent in the South Pole, and I'm going to develop more and more to it. But it's going to be something that I sort of start from scratch and make, and I'm going to incorporate themes that I've been running in various games throughout my life into it, and various ideas and things like that. So I think I'm going to just trace sort of the development of my thoughts, more like not a review channel of old school things like some people like Captain Courageous does. I'm not going to do things like the Dungeon Craft does, where I talk about various hot topics or issues, or Taking 20 does. I'm just going to talk about my game as I develop it, ideas, thoughts, things like that I have, doing a lot of research, and that'll be it. I mean, it's maybe boring to a lot of people, but it's something to put out there, And so once I get everything unpacked and I get shit rolling, I probably will get that thing up and going. And I don't know, maybe a month and a half, sometime in the middle of the summer, I predict I'll probably be getting going. I downloaded a video editing software so I could figure out how to do shit.
Oh, wow. You mean you're not going to go the what do you call it? The cable access route like I do?
No, I'm going to actually, I was thinking about, I was looking at mounts for my video camera, things like that, where I could actually hold it over a book or share a screen. I figured I got time to learn how to do this stuff. You know what I mean? Cool. I may as well give it a shot, see if I can figure out how to do it. So yeah, I might give it a shot. What the fuck? I'll give it, I don't know. I'll let you all know when it happens, but just something I'm thinking about. I'm like, might as well. What the fuck, What the fuck? I might as well give it a shot and see what I could. I might get some followers. Who knows? Well, put some positive out there.
Listen, when your first episode is up, obviously, let me know. I will share it on the tavern.
All right.
We will get you.
YouTube is the new blogger, dude. You know what I mean?
In a way, it is. And you know what? I'm glad that I have my fingers on multiple medias because they're all important. But this is fun. I really enjoy doing this. So
yeah, me too. It's fun, and that's what got me thinking about it. What the fuck? I may as well. I'll give it a shot. And I'll probably hit you up for ideas about, because I'm looking at the, once you own a YouTube channel. I mean, I've always had these things, but I don't know what the fuck it all means. Down dashboard, content, playlist, analytics, comments, subtitles, copyright, monetization, customization, audio. I don't know what the fuck that all means.
Don't worry about monetization. It doesn't exist until you hit 1,000. So.
1,000, yeah. But I'm sure I'll get that within a week. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah.
All I gotta do is talk shit about somebody. That was the old blog technique, right? I mean, my hottest blog titles would hit thousands of views within days because I talk shit about somebody. So if I talk shit about one person one time, I'll get all the 1,000 and I can monetize, right? I mean, that's the key. But I don't want to. Actually, I don't want to go negative. I believe it or not. I just want to talk, creative stuff. I want to talk about ideas, throw shit up out there. So anyway, that's the little bit of announcement there. I think I'll eventually midsummer look for it, but in the meantime, I got a fucking more unboxes to unpack here, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Folks, that we'll mention on the tavern. We'll definitely mention on this live stream when it happens. So, the first episode I'm doing was like, oh, Joe's up and live. I'll probably find out when it pops up on my notifications.
Yeah. In the meantime, I got to figure out how to do video editing. I Googled last night, free video editing, best free video editing software or whatever the hell it was. And I said Hit Film Express. So anyway, I'm going to try to learn Hit Film Express. I looked at it last night and I couldn't figure out a goddamn thing about it. So I got a long way to go.
Well, folks, all the new stuff you get to learn about here. Right? Announcements. Listen, neither Joe nor I are medical professionals, but we've both been vaccinated. That's our own personal choice. Neither of us are telling you what you should do. We will say use your common sense to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones healthy and safe.
And think of somebody else.
Yes.
Think of somebody else. That's really the key. As long as you're thinking of somebody else, you're doing okay.
Right. And remember, too, you can't help others if you yourself aren't healthy.
Yep.
So, right? You gotta.
Absolutely.
What do they say? You gotta see. If the airplane's gonna crash, you must secure your own mask first before helping another. Yeah. It's the same. It's the same kind of thought.
Yep.
Be safe. Be well. God bless. Roll those dice.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Thanks for joining in.
I'll be back again tomorrow with Rach as we do a game ourselves.
Yep.
All right,
All
folks.
right. Awesome.
Later.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.